श्री श्री Anandamayi Ma ki jai. One morning, in the middle of the satsang, a weird-looking man entered the garden. He was dressed in a strange fashion and his face bore a look of insanity. He was obviously disturbed. He walked straight over to the woman's side and spoke to each woman whose head was uncovered. Cover your head. Be a Devi. No one heeded him. This seemed to annoy him intensely. He was obviously getting more and more desperate. Finally, he approached Mataji and repeated his request to her as well. She at once complied with his wish and motioned to the girls sitting near her to do likewise. Every woman in the assembly followed suit. The stranger was visibly pleased at his sudden success, and with a smile walked across to the man's side and sat down quietly. After some time, however, he got up, announcing in a loud voice that he wanted to leave. Mataji handed an orange to someone to give to him. This, for some reason, infuriated the stranger, and he threw the fruit at Mataji with violence. He aimed well, it hit her. A wave of indignation surged through the crowd. Two of Mataji's bhaktas caught hold of the intruder and tried to lead him out of the garden. At the gate, he freed himself from their grip and attempted to return to the satsang. One of the devotees hit him, and with difficulty he was finally turned out into the street. After the satsang, Mataji called the two young men who had dealt with the strangers. She wanted to know all the details. On hearing them, she said, "You are not to prevent anyone from coming to this body. Moreover, you must not beat anybody. To atone for what you have done, keep a fast tomorrow. And you who have hit the stranger may not even drink water." "But how could we allow him to throw the orange at you?" protested the young man. "There was no knowing what he might have done next." "Never mind," said Mataji. "He wanted to return to me. You should have let him do so." The next morning, the stranger came again. This time, he was decently dressed, like everyone else. The insane look had vanished from his face. He did not concern himself with the woman's bare heads, but straight away sat down quietly with the man and remained throughout the satsang. When it was over, he went up to Mataji and talked to her. She invited him for lunch and he stayed with us until after the meal. We found him an educated, cultured, and amiable person. Afterwards, we learned that throwing the orange at Mataji had caused him such deep remorse that he was healed of his mental disturbance. He had been unbalanced and was restored to normality by Mataji's grace. This surely is an incident to be pondered over. Mataji sometimes says, "If you must be angry with me, for you will not be able to keep it up for long. If you focus your anger on me, it will soon evaporate." This reminds me of a conversation with Sri Raman Maharshi at Arunachal which left a deep impression. Someone asked, "How was it that Saint Paul, who hated Jesus Christ so violently that he wanted to kill him, later became his most ardent disciple?" Sri Ramana replied, "Whether it be love or hate, it is the thought of him that takes you there." श्री श्री Anandamayi Ma ki jai.